Hi beautiful people, my name is Tiffany and welcome to Stead in the City. Thank you so much for joining me on this very special series that I am calling the 5 W's Stead in the City edition. If you're unfamiliar with the 5 W's, they stand for who, what, where, when, and why. So on this series, I will be giving you the who, what, where, when, and whys of Stead in the City. So if you're interested in finding all of that out, stay tuned. So, who? That's pretty easy. My name is Tiffany. My friends call me Tiff, so totally feel free to call me Tiff. And this, well, not just this, but this is my stead in the city. But actually, the stead is way more than just me. First of all, my husband, he is a huge help at, he was a huge help in creating the stead. He helped me build the raised beds. He helped me shovel soil, well, load soil, then shovel soil. So he helped me fill the beds. He gave me a lot of inspiration in terms of some things that I should grow. And he's just been a huge help in this entire process. So thank you, honey. And then even beyond him, our 2 children, I don't think they realize that this is kind of work right now, but they're just having a lot of fun. So that makes me happy, because a big reason behind Stead was to create memories for my family. Me being in the garden with my parents are some of the best memories that I have growing up. And so I just wanted to recreate that with my children. But even beyond the humans, Stead is made up of, truthfully, thousands of living organisms. You can just start with the plants. They are very much a part of the stead. My dogs, my 3 dogs, the OGs of SITC, and of course, Destiny's chickens. The stead would not be the stead without all of them. So, that's the who. Right here we have Spike and Snow. And then let's see, where's the OG? Like the original. That's Sneak. Come on, Sneak. Come on. Okay, I guess that'll do. The overview of the garden. The garden is made up of 6 raised beds, ranging in sizes from 3 by 3 to 6 by 4 to 7 by 2. Excuse the outside broom. The compost. And the true stars of the show, Destiny's chickens. Sometimes I refer to them as the chiches also. It just kind of depends on the day. I have a very modest flock of 5 birds. Our first here, this is Chicoletta. She's a black copper Moran. She is 100% the HHIC head hen in charge. Over here we have Goldie. She is a Brahma. I received her from a good friend of mine who has a much larger flock, including roosters. And if you see, Goldie she's recovering from some damage. She was a rooster's favorite, so my friend figured that it would be best for her to be in a flock that did not have a rooster. So with me saying all that, I do not have a rooster. This is my Polish Silky, Aunt Viv, and then the 2 babies, which they are far from babies. They're more teenagers at this point. Is my Samani Easter egger, Twilight. She is the all-black chicken. Chocolata, that was rude. And then wherever there is Twilight, there is Meek. Meek is my Millie. I'm going to try to say this. I do not speak French. I have never studied French. I have studied Spanish and Italian though. But Millie is my Millie de flor. De flor. She's my Millie, so that's Meek the Millie. Alright, so while I was walking around filming the rest of the garden, I realized there's actually a whole lot more to the who of Stead in the City. So again, my name is Tiffany. My friends all call me Tiff, so please feel free to call me Tiff. And I mentioned this a little bit before, that some of my best memories growing up were helping my parents in their garden over the summer. I've been gardening for almost as long as I can remember. My parents, again, helping my parents in their garden back home in California, where growing food is really easy because California is just that awesome of a state. I know I live in Arkansas now, but I was born and raised in California. My family, like my husband and our children, we've lived in Arkansas for about 5 years now. Even after graduating from high school and going off to college, I still found myself involved in some kind of gardening. I kept maybe like 3 or 4, like little terracotta pots of herbs in the windowsill. And that was enough for me then. Then I moved overseas where I didn't do any gardening because I was just a little, I wasn't sure where to start being overseas. So unfortunately, that would be a period of time in my life where I didn't do any kind of gardening, not flowers, not any pots, like nothing. I did no kind of gardening. When we moved back stateside, I jumped right back in, but I stayed contained to container. I stayed contained, and I say contained for a reason. I stayed contained to container gardening. It was a couple 5-gallon buckets. I would do tomatoes and cucumbers. You grow what you eat, so that's what I ate, cucumbers and tomatoes. One year, though, I did have a really awesome, vertical herb garden. My husband built it for me for Mother's Day, and it was amazing. I had like 12 different herbs. I'd never grown that many herbs before. So in a way, that was, I guess, the first expansion of my gardening efforts. And then this year, I can't put it any other way. I honestly felt called to go bigger. My word of the year is actually expansion. And as with any word of the year, when you first get it, you think you know what it's referencing. I definitely did not think it referenced my garden space. Like I said, I have 7 raised garden beds, and there's 2 3x3s, 2 7x2s, a 6x3, and a 6x4, plus a few containers sprinkled throughout the backyard. Anybody who is good at math, feel free to tell me how much square footage that is. So this was definitely an expansion for me to go from 3 5-gallon buckets and a whiskey barrel of lemongrass to all of this gardening space, growing flowers amongst peppers and corn and watermelon and squash amongst corn and amongst amaranth. I am growing so many new things. I have corn. I have corn in my backyard. I never in a million years would have thought that I could grow corn in my backyard. But I got corn. Like real corn. Like real corn. With I can't remember what it's called right now. Not the hair. But yeah, like the little hairs. Okay, the little hairs. Okay, so what? What is Stead in the City? This is gonna be partially like a what and a why, just because those two, they go together really well. Stead in the City initially was supposed to be my way of documenting my family's journey into urban homesteading. But as my garden grew, so did my understanding and my vision. Now, Stead in the City is not only my way of documenting my family's journey towards urban homesteading, it is also my way of inspiring and encouraging others to embark on their own Stead in the City journey. Anyone can have a Stead in the City, regardless of how much space you do or don't have, and regardless of whatever constraints you think you have. You too can have a Stead in the City. Of course, gardening, that is an easy way to start having a Stead in the City. And even if you live in an apartment and you can only have a balcony, you can only have some containers on your balcony, perfect. If you only want to have a couple in the house, or you want to do like hydroponics or something in your house, have at it. If you want to do something larger, like in your backyard, if you have that space, or if you just have any kind of green space and you have a desire to grow food. I live in Arkansas. Grow food. You can do that. I have seen some amazing things done in small spaces. If you don't want to grow food, if you feel like you can't grow food, or you don't want to, I still encourage you to try it. At least try it, because what's the worst that can happen? But if you don't want to grow food, that's totally fine. That's not everybody's bag. There's still ways that you can have your Stead in the City by supporting the overall homesteading lifestyle, or the overall sustainable lifestyle. A big one, and actually a favorite of mine, is shopping at farmers markets and shopping from local farmers. Making relationships with local farmers is something that is really important to me. Outside of just outside of my own use, and outside of my own gain, this is something that is very, very important to me. That's the wet. Nope, take that back. That's not the wet. More ways that you can have your own Stead in the City. You can pick up a trade, or pick up a skill, a new skill. And when I say a new skill, I mean an old skill. Woodworking, beekeeping, if that's your bag. Not my bag, but if it's your bag, it's your bag. Sewing, canning and preserving food, bartering for your skill for someone else's skill, or your skill for someone else's goods. And then once you have learned and developed your skill, you can teach it to the next person. After you have learned your skill, you can offer it to the community, and in turn the community can offer their skills to you. Living from and of the community is very much a part of homesteading, as living off of your own multi-acre farm. Hope that made sense. Pretty sure that made sense. The definition of homestead, like the Webster's definition of homestead, I'm sorry, I'm an academic, so I'm probably going to throw definitions at y'all all the time. But I digress. The definition of homestead is the practice of living off one own's land. But I actually found a better, or a more true definition of homestead on Instagram from a sweet follower of mine, Handcrafted Homestead. The definition that they presented is that homestead is a lifestyle of self-sufficiency, where you produce and create rather than consume. And I love that definition for so many different reasons, because it introduces a communal aspect to homesteading. I think that covers the what. Hopefully this wasn't too jumpy. And the why. Yeah, hopefully that covers the what and the why. Cheers. Yeah, this year I just truly felt led to go further and to go bigger. And it's been awesome. Like, it has been an amazing experience so far. I am patiently but impatiently waiting for harvest time. It's just been great. It's been really, really good, and I am so glad that you have decided to join me on this journey. Cheers. So, where is Stead in the City? Zone 7B, Central Arkansas, southern region of the United States. Surprise! I'm back. If you're unfamiliar with the 5 W's, which we earlier determined stand for who, what, where, when, and why, depending on the subject matter, how sometimes follows. And in this particular subject matter, how definitely follows. So, how you can be a part of Stead in the City. I already talked about how you can have your own stead in the city, or I talked about it a little bit. But I didn't talk about how you can be a part of this stead in the city. Yes, this one right here. Well, not this chair, but you know, this right here. How you can be a part of this stead in the city. So if you have not already done so, please like, comment, subscribe, and share this video. Community is a big part of any stead in the city. So let's grow this community. Let's sow some seeds. Thanks for watching. Cheers.